Manoviraj, Khosla, how badly has this dissent within and outside the BJP impacted governance in Karnataka in your view? Is it impacting people's lives? Do you think of this as an inefficient, ineffectual government? Or do you think it doesn't really matter so much?
No, but of course it matters, because the entire place is in shambles. You have roads which are in shambles, you have traffic which is a complete mess. I mean, the infrastructure is crumbling and they're busy doing this sort of infighting thing, which is actually, when you're busy trying to solve those problems, you're not actually solving the real problems, which is what you were elected to do in any case. If you have an internal squabble with whoever it is, then those people should, like you said earlier, yes, come out with it like they did in the Congress with the likes of Kapil Sibal and everything. And they said, okay, these are our voices and these are our concerns. We don't want this leadership. You need to change it. The same thing they should do so that it's out in the open. They can take a decision. But in the meantime, the government has to be allowed to function and so that people don't suffer the way they are. I mean, the city is a complete mess.
Tara Krishnaswamy, each time I travel to Bengaluru, I affirm the fact that the city is a mess, as would anybody in Bengaluru who's watching. I was in Ahmedabad recently. They've actually built flyovers going all the way from the airport down to Ahmedabad, making the city's civic public infrastructure much better than in years gone by. Whereas when you come to Bengaluru, you see how things are going from bad to worse. How badly, according to you, is governance impacted because the Chief Minister is busy trying to save his chair?
But that's exactly governance is very seriously impacted, Rahul. As you know, as citizens, we really couldn't, care two hoots if the, parties are, infighting or, whoever is fighting for the chair. What is most important to us is that governance is delivered. And the Chief Minister is the Bangalore Development Minister. He holds that portfolio. As you know, the courts have been directing the potholes to be filled. Yesterday's news from the Times of India is that water levels are in critical condition. Groundwater table is in critical condition. This is their headline in Bengaluru. But beyond that, if you look at Niti Aayog's own report about Karnataka, our inequality is increasing, our educational outcomes have declined, our water and sanitation outcomes have declined. And then if you look at our budget, which was most recently announced, there is a 65% decrease in scholarships for minorities. There is a 85% decrease in social welfare department post-matriculation scholarship, even for backward classes. For SC/ST, there's again a decrease of over 50%. So if you look at all this, you cannot possibly have governance outcomes when on the one hand budget is decreasing both for the majority of the population. It's easy to say it's minorities. You club the backward class, the SC/STs, the women, and the minorities together. That really is the majority of the population. Budget allocations are decreasing. You see, and in fact, the observation that Niti Aayog has made is that Karnataka is not doing enough of tracking, monitoring, and administering in the districts and the taluks. So it's very centered around city and city real estate. At the same time, the city itself is suffering. Look at the BBMP elections. The Bangalore Corporation elections haven't been held for 2 years, and the delimitation and reservation exercise they've done is so pathetic that within colonies, within a given apartment community, you have flats that are in 2 different wards, and citizens have risen in protest. So there is just a complete apathy and lack of governance everywhere, and an over-focus, over-rotation on the elections. It seems like everything else has come to a standstill.